All right. We've got Aaron Harris to speak next. He's very excited and passionate about grassroots activism. He's going to share with us just for 5 minutes. I just cut his time from 10 to 5, so he's going to talk fast, and he's going to be funny. And then we're going to get on with our main speaker.
Those of you that know me know that, I get described often as chatty catty, so I will do 5 minutes, though. There's one thing we've discovered tonight. If you didn't know before tonight, it is campaign season. Anybody get a count on how many candidates those were? Anybody? I mean, it had to be at least 40, right? So what I want to talk about tonight, what I am very passionate about. Actually, James, do you have that handheld? I do like to move. So what I want to talk about tonight is the most important thing we can do for a campaign and kind of why it's important. And you hear us talk a lot about it, which is block walking, right? So the most important thing, I mean, all these candidates came up on stage, and surely you saw at least one of them that you like. Am I assuming? So you say, okay, I want to help this candidate. I get that question a lot, right? How can I help this candidate? And not all of us, I'll speak for myself, can write a $10,000 check, okay? Maybe some of you can. But what's the best way we can help these candidates? And the candidates challenge, whether it be a statewide, like the Supreme Court guys that we saw, city council like Kelly, who's here somewhere, right there, all the way to state rep, et cetera. The biggest challenge is getting their message out, right? Voters have to know who they are. And in doing so, they have a couple methods to do so. Email blast, right? You have to build that list and get email blasts. Direct mail, which we all see, right? How many of you actually read the direct mail you get in the mail? Okay? Now, those of us that are really into politics, see, not only do I read them, I keep them all, okay? Yes, I do. And phone calls, okay? Phone calls are effective. Live calls, they actually do work. You see phone bank. I see Ken over here. Ken has a phone bank over in Dallas. They keep running all the time, okay? Live calls work, but what's the most effective thing you can do in politics? And actually, this goes to anything in life, right? Most of us go to church. Best way you can get people to come to your church is what? Face-to-face interactions, right? There's a reason that candidates are begging you to block walk. And so that's what I want to talk to you about tonight is why you should block walk and how to do it. It's very easy. But the reason it's so important is it is by far the most effective thing you can do, okay? I actually was looking at a survey today at a block walking campaign. Let me back up. There's three types of block walkers, and everybody in this room pretty much falls into the third. The first is the candidate themselves. Well, I'll add a fourth. One of the candidates remind me. Second is the spouse. Spouse are great, very effective, okay? But candidates are incredibly effective at the door, nearly 100%. Second is volunteers and supporters, you guys in this room. Third is paid block walkers. Paid block walkers have their place, but they're not nearly effective as you are, okay? Why? Because voters want to know that the person in front of them is like-minded, is a neighbor, and is there giving them something that they actually believe, and they're not just being sold something, right? When the Charter guy or AT&T guy shows up at my door, I know he's there to get a commission, right? It's not as believable as it is when I show up and talk to him, okay? But why it's so important for you guys to volunteer your time to block walk for candidates is these campaigns do not have unlimited money, okay? I actually saw a campaign today I was looking at where, when you go out and block walk, you're going to have a lot of people aren't home. And this particular campaign, it cost the campaign $36 per survey for the hired block walkers they had. So they're going out and paying about $3. In this case, it was only $4 a door. And it was costing them $36 to get one survey to know about a candidate, okay? So none of these guys that came up here have that kind of budget. So the way we can help them is at the door. All right, I'm going to hurry up here. There's three things. Here's my three principles for block walking. These principles also work for working the polls, etc. When you're talking to voters, you have to build a rapport, and you got to do three things. One is establish that you're like-minded. Okay? That's why we use buzzwords, right? One of the most overused buzzwords, I'm about to say, and you're all going to cringe, conservative, right? We're all conservative. And we have, 48 guys running for Republican president. They're all conservative, okay? But that's a buzzword you use that you immediately build a rapport with people. So when you're at the door, when you're at the poll talking to a voter, build a rapport that you're like-minded. Secondly, if you're there talking to them about the 348th District Court, somebody in here, automatically the voter's going to go, man, this guy knows more about this stuff than I do because I don't even know what that court is, okay? So you establish that you know a little bit about what you're talking about. Normally it's because you're there talking about a state rep they've never heard of, okay? And then what they want to do, if you're like-minded and you know more than them, they just really want you to tell them what they can do, okay? In this case, it's to vote for that candidate. I'm working on it, Charlie. I'm getting fast. Okay, so it's the single most important thing you can do. It's the single most effective thing you can do. And third thing I want to say is it's really easy, okay? I'm actually, believe it or not a very outgoing guy by nature. Getting up here and doing this is kind of tough, okay? But block walking, a lot of people I know say, I would block walk for that person, but that's just not me, right? That's just not me. My challenge to you would be just start it in your neighborhood. Can you talk to your neighbor? All of us can talk to our neighbor, okay? Now, when I go block walk, regardless, here's the approach I take. Everybody in Texas is my neighbor because they're Texans, right? So when I go on block walk, even if I go to like Arlington, okay, which to me is like a long way over there, right? Go to Arlington, I say, I'm out talking to our neighbors, right? And I automatically just take on a communal conversation, okay? The one thing I really want to challenge, as grassroots, we're very involved. We're about to hear a presentation from Numbers about immigration. We've had different issues brought up tonight. Life's been brought up, red light cameras, okay? Stay focused when you're block walking. Remember who you're there for, okay? Right now we're in a presidential cycle. If you're out talking to somebody about a state rep, et cetera, focus on the race you're there to talk to them about, okay? And the last thing, since I have to close this thing down short, if you will, is make sure that when you're out block walking, the whole point is, remember, stay focused on what you're trying to do. You're trying to get support for your candidate, but also make sure you bring that information back to your candidate, okay? Because at some point here next month, we're going to start GOTV, which is get out the vote, and we need to know who those supporters are so that we can drive them to the polls, okay? The biggest mistake you can make is go block walking and then not have any information about who you talked to and what the results were. Okay, so pen and paper, clipboard, make sure you bring it back to the candidate so that they can get that information, know how to GOTV. Last thing, shameless plug. I have a couple campaigns here. Bo French's guys in the back, they need block walkers. So if you can block walk, which, by the way, if you're wondering, everybody in this room can. Talk to him. Stand up back there. Let's have, we got Anthony over here from Jonathan Stickland's campaign. Let's see, is there anybody here from Rinaldi's? No, and then Tony's here somewhere. Where's Tony? He might have just stepped out. But anyhow, those are state reps that need your help and can use your block walking, okay? So I would encourage everybody here tonight to hook up with one of those campaigns and sign up to block walk before you leave. Everybody needs it. All the campaigns need it, and it's the best way you can help a campaign. Thanks, guys.